शिवसमारम्भाम् शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै यस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम्। यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तन्न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः देवाय तस्मै नमः। Okay, 27 onwards. उच्चैश्रवसमस्वानाम्
उच्चैः
विद्धि माममृतोद्भवम्
विद्धिमामृतोद्भवम्
ऐरावतं गजेन्द्राणाम्
ऐरावतं गजेन्द्राणाम्
नराणां च नराधिपम्
नराणां च नराधिपम्
आयुधानामहं वज्रम्
आयुधानामहं वज्रम्
धेनूनामस्मि कामधुक्
धेनूनामस्मि कामधुक्
प्रजनश्चास्मि कन्दर्पः
प्रजनच्चास्मि कन्दर्पः
सर्पाणामस्मि वासुकिः
सर्पाणामस्मि वासुकिः
अनन्तश्चास्मि नागानाम्
अनन्तच्चास्मि नागानाम्
वरुणो यादसामहम्
वरुणो यादसामहम्
पितॄणामर्यमाश्चास्मि
पितॄणामर्यमा चास्मि
यमः संयमतामहम्
यमः संयत्मतामहम्
प्रह्लादश्चास्मि दैत्यानाम्
प्रह्लादश्चास्मि दैत्यानाम्
कालः कलयतामहम्
कालः कलयतामहम्
मृगाणाम् च मृगेन्द्रोऽहम्
मृगाणां च मृगेन्द्रोऽहम्
वैनतेयश्च पक्षिणाम्
वैनतेयश्च पक्षिणाम्
पवनः पवतामस्मि
पवनः पवतामस्मि
रामः शस्त्रभृतामहम्
रामशस्त्रभृतामहम्
झषाणाम् मकरश्चास्मि
शशाणां मकरश्चास्मि
स्रोतसामस्मि जाह्नवी
स्रोतसामस्मि जाह्नवी
Again, पवनः पवतामस्मि
पवनः पवतामस्मि
रामः शस्त्रभृतामहम्
रामशस्त्रभृतामहम्
झषाणाम् मकरश्चास्मि
शशाणां मकरश्चास्मि
Srotasamasmi Jannavi.
Srodasamasmi Jannavi.
So last mantra we saw Mriganam cha Mrigendroham. Among the among the non-flying animals. Okay, that's what we should say, because next one is Vaineteyascha Pakshinam. So Pakshis are there, So birds and these words. There must be some words in English also. I don't know, but non-flying animals and flying animals. Okay, then he's going to talk also. Jashanam is going to come. He's going to talk about marine animals, aquatic animals. That is Jash. Okay, that is Jash there. But before that, Pavanaf Pavatam Asmi. Pavatam, again, same formula, right? Pavatam. Among Pavats, I am Pavanaha. So even if you don't know the meaning of these words, you can translate it like that. The question is, what is Pavat? Pavat, this Pu, it has two meanings. One is Punati iti. Punati iti Pavanaha. Pavat. And that is that which purifies is Pavat. And that which moves also is Pavat or Pavana. So among those who purify, let's use that word purify here. And so we use air and water is essential. Water is essential at home. And we use water to clean things. Okay. We use fire to clean. Fire is an excellent purifier. And of course, there are other herbs and other things also which purify, like turmeric and so forth. So all these are they're called purifiers. And among these purifiers, wind is also purified because it takes away odor. Takes away odor. Any odor that you don't want, it takes away. And so you expose that to wind and then it cleans, it purifies. Therefore, among those purifiers, I am Pavanaha. Pavan. Pavan here means wind. That which moves is wind, that which purifies is also called wind. Both meanings are there for Pavan. Pavanaha. Okay. Then, so this Pavan is not unfamiliar to us in our Shanno Mitrasham Varunaha Shanno Bhavatvaryama Namaste Vayu Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahma. Namaste Vayu. Only culture that says Namaste Vayu worships all this wind and Agni and so forth. Namaste Vayu. So, my namaskar to Vayu. Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahmasi. Hey, this Brahma that I'm after, okay, you are Pratyaksham. Means you are all pervasive like Brahma. Vayu is all pervasive as far as I'm concerned. You are there everywhere. And Pratyaksham also. Brahma I can't see, but Vayu I can at least feel. At least I can feel it. Therefore, Pratyaksham. Tameva Pratyaksham Brahmas. If I appreciate you, then I am only a little distance away from appreciating Brahma. That's the meaning. Namaste Vayu. Okay. And then of course, we got Pavana Sutta, Anjaneya, Atulit, Pavana Sutta Dhamma, and all you have. Atulit Baladhama, then Anjani Putra, Pavana Sutta Nama, like that you have in Hanuman Chalisa. So, what to talk about? Manojavam Maruta Tulya Vegam, Jitendriyam Buddhivatam Varishtam, Vatatmajam. Vatatmajam. Hanuman is the son of Vayu, Vatatmaja. So, all that we have. And so, therefore, that is that Pavanaha, Pavatam Asmi. I am the air among purifiers. Okay. Then, Ramaha Shastra Bhritam Aham. Shastra. Okay. Among those, Shastrabhrit means one who wields a weapon is called Shastrabhrit. One who wields a weapon. And interesting here, he quotes Rama as the one among all the people, all the devatas who wield weapons. That's the way to read it. Okay. Shastram. Shastram means a weapon that is held in the hand. Astram means a weapon that is released from the hand. Released. So a spear is an astram, not a shastram. Whereas a bow, a gun, all these things are called shastras because the gun has to be held in the hand. You can't throw the gun. If you throw the gun, it's of no use to you. Okay. So Shastra versus Astra. So here he's talking about Shastra Vritam among those. So our Devatas, all our Devatas, almost without an exception. Only Hanuman and a few people don't have weapons in hand. I think that's because Hanuman is by himself powerful. You know, he can fly and he can do all kinds of stuff. He doesn't need
Gada.
a
Hanuman has Gada, no?
Hanuman is Gada, correct. But sometimes he's shown like this also. So without Gada also is fine. He has the power. And so this Rama, Kodanda Panihi. Rama has he's a bow, and that bow is called Kodanda. Therefore, Rama himself is called as Kodanda Panihi. And Shiva also, Pinaka Panihi. Shiva also has a bow in some forms. You will see Shiva with a bow. And if it is not in a sitting posture, sometimes sitting posture also you'll see a bow. And then that bow is called Pinaka, and therefore he's called a Pinaka Panihi. Parashu, sometimes he'll have a axe, Parashu Hastaha. So like this you have all. Devi, of course, and all forms of Devi will have some weapon or the other. And Ashtabhuja Durga. So our Devata is Ashtabhuja Durga. So not one hand. She has weapons in 8 hands. And 4 hands here, 4 hands here. All kinds of weapons are there. Oh, okay. And so, and of course, Vishnu we should not forget along the way. Vishnu is what kind of Pani is he?
Chakrapani.
Chakrapani.
Chakrapani. Very good. Chakrapani.
Changa Chakra.
Chakrapani. Very good.
Changu Chakra Gadapani.
Shankha Chakra Gadapani. Gada also he has. Shankha Chakra Gada. Shankha also he has. Shankha is not as a different kind of weapon. But Chakra is a weapon. Then what else? What other Pani?
Shang.
Yeah.
Sharangapani.
So
Shang.
not Sarangapani. It is Sharangapani. Sharanga.
Sharangapani.
Sharanga is another bow. Sharanga is the bow that Vishnu has. Sharangapani. So our devatas are all wielding weapons. Why should they have weapons like this? So it's very simple. The one who protects Dharma has to have weapons. Symbolically, one should have weapon. So that means he or she is protecting us. That's the symbolism. Very important. So we are clear about that. And
Even Parashurama, Guruji.
Parashurama is also there. Now, the people who like to poke their nose into other countries' affairs and other religions' affairs, they say your God is not compassionate. Why? Because they are all having all kinds of weapons. Look at our God. Look at our God. Very compassionate God, okay? Very compassionate. Our God loves you, but your God does not love you. These kinds of narratives are all there. And it's all quietly coming. If you wonder why your students, your children did not learn Hinduism properly, this is one of the reasons. Because those professors sitting in University of Chicago and Wendy Doniger and Martha Nussbaum and, this our Sheldon Pollock and Audrey Truschke and this list of names is huge. And why should I say all these things? Why should we remember all these names? What has that got to do with Bhagavad Gita? We should remember because those people, they are educating the Indian students go there and get their PhDs, and then they come back to India and they write our social studies textbooks, and we have to deal with all the nonsense here in India. And our Indian people are all, they can't think at all. They parrot all the things that they've said, and they say, Wendy Doniger says Bhagavad Gita is not as great a textbook that you think it is. Krishna is not as a lovable God you think he is. Krishna is causes war. Krishna makes mischief. That is what Nussbaum says. That is what Wendy Doniger says. That's what Wendy Doniger students in Rice University's Jeffrey Kripal says. And all that we have, it comes to India. And then we wonder why our children are not studying properly in our schools. And there's no way we can change these textbooks because the powerful people are there. I saw with my own eyes in Hyderabad, we had a meeting with 80 teachers, history teachers. They invited us because they loved our work. And they loved our work, they loved our presentation. They invited us. Afterwards, they invited us to review their textbooks. But the most powerful guy here in that room, 80 people, powerful guy is some leftist guy from some non-profit organization. He is a consultant for this government. And the government listens only to them. And the teachers there are saying, who are you to tell us not to talk about Rama in our textbooks? Who are you to tell us not to? Like that, the teachers became courageous and opened their mouths. So that's how it is. We need to know all these things, unfortunately, because you go open any social studies textbook. You tell me one book where Hinduism is portrayed properly. Anywhere in the world. No, because the powerful Nobel Prize winners, Amartya Sen is the husband of Martha Nussbaum of University of Chicago. We Indians give him Nobel Prize. We Indians invite him with the red carpet. That fellow is anti. And so that's how bad the situation is. And so we have to be aware, at least. We have to be aware of these things. You people are all in important positions, and whether you're employed or not, still you're engaging with a lot of forums. So you need to know all these things. So you're informed, well informed. So, Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha duskritam. Therefore, they are going to have shastras and we have no problem. It's not like we carry weapons. In fact, you are the people who carry weapons and throw bombs in all countries, okay? Not us. And so, samadana bheda danda. This is our rule. Our rule is what? Sama. First, when there is a conflict, you use sama. Sama means just just talk it over and resolve on conflicts. And everybody understands, yeah, really there's no problem. If there is still a problem, then dana. Some piece of land. Dana. You just, one party can say, okay, fine, just take it. Take it and let's move on. If still conflict remains, then bheda. Let's split. Let's split. You take half, I'll take half. And let's resolve the conflict and move on. If that also does not work, then danda. Then only danda is taken up. So we also have rules as to when we should take up to war, so to speak, or fight or court, whatever it is called. And so samadana bheda is non-violent, and then danda is violent. But violence there is uh, himsa, dharma himsa. Dharma himsa. Okay. So Tyagaraja, samadana bheda samadana bheda danda chatura danda, I think. I forgot.
Sarasa Samadana Beda
Ah,
Danda Chatura.
rasa samadana chatura
Beda Danda Chatura.
Danda chatura.
So he's praising his Rama. You are the chatura. You are the man who knows this very well. Why? Because even after you went to war with Ravana, even after this fellow deserves capital punishment, you begin to fight with him and you're still giving him a last chance. Indru poi nalaiva. Okay, think it over, Ravana. I'm not going to kill you. I'm going to give you one more day. That is why Jagaraja praises Rama through that song. And Indrupoi Nalaiva means you go home today and you come back tomorrow. Come back. Think it over and come back. Okay. So same thing, Pandavas, Mahabharata, everything. Avoid war. But don't run away from the possibility of war. Okay. That is the idea. That is why Swadharmam api chavekshya navikampitum arhasi dharmyadhi yuddhat shreyonyate. For a Kshatriya, there is nothing greater than a war based on dharma. War which is followed this Sama, Dana, Bheda, then Danda. then Kshatriya is just waiting for that. Doesn't want it, but he's the person available for that. And so, Yadrichaya Chopapannam Swargada Dwaram Apavritam Sukinaha Kshatriya Partha Labhamte Yuddham Idrisham. Krishna is saying that. This kind of war, okay? People don't get this kind of war. Like that he says, okay? And Hatova Prapsisi Swargam. If you get killed by any chance, do you know where you're going to go? You're going to go to Swarga straight. Swarga Dwaram Apavrit. And so that's why Shastra Britam, our devatas are all Shastra Panayaha. Okay? And therefore, our devatas wielding weapons, intelligently used, intelligently presented. So it's not a dushanam, it's not a defect, it is a bhushanam. It is a bhushanam. It's an ornamentation. It's necessary. And then how about the devotees of these devatas? What about them? They also wield weapons. Well, weapon need not be a physical weapon, and we all use defense every day. So external weapons are there, external enemies are there, internal enemies are also there. Okay. So Raga Dvesha, Lobha Moha Mada Matsaryam. Okay. So all this jealousy, aggression, likes and dislikes, Dvesha, hatred, Moha, delusion, false priorities, confusion. What do I want in life? What do I not want? What can I give up? All this confusion, Moha. All these things are there. So for that also we need weapons. We need the ultimate weapon. Eventually we'll need the ultimate weapon. Bhagavan is needed, and then Bhagavan will take us to Brahma Vidya. Okay. So therefore, Ramaha Shastra Bhratam. Bhagavan Bhashikara, Shankaracharya says Ramaha, within brackets he says Dasharathi. Because there is Parashurama, there is Balarama. So many Ramas are there, So many Ramas are there. So Sapat Rama, right? So in Tamil, we have a phrase called Sapat Rama, we say. Sapat Rama means somebody who's constantly eating, constantly eating. Every 1 hour he needs something to go inside his stomach. And so we call him Sapat Rama. Sapat means food. Food Rama, his name is. Food Rama. I think I've seen some stores whose names are called Foodarama or something like that. I don't know where this word Rama comes in the US. Foodarama.
There is a song called Raman Ethanai Ramanadi.
Raman Ethai Namanadi. Yeah. But Sapat Rama will not come in that song. So, anyway, so that Ramaha Shastra Britham Aham. I am Rama among those devatas who wield weapons. Okay. Jashanam Makaras Chasmi. Jash. So, Jash means aquatic animal, aquatic creature. Two-thirds of the surface of the earth is covered with water. At least on surface, if you see, there is water, right? Only 1/3 is land, or something like that, that fraction. And then among living beings, you've got, they generally divided into 3 categories: animals, plants, and then microorganisms and bacteria. There are some terms they use, but for our purposes, microorganisms. Small, very small, invisible organisms. They are also living beings, So that's those 3. Then plants. Plants. 95% of the plant biomass. Okay, if you look at the biomass means organic matter. Organic matter means living beings compose, are composed of organic matter, and that biomass, 95+% of the plant biomass is on the land, terrestrial, and then remaining there is kelp and all that. There is forest in the water also. Okay, so that's about very small percentage. Then animals, majority of the animal biomass is in the ocean. We don't even see that. not even visible to our eyes. We can't think of it also. Fish, 30% of that, 40% of that biomass is fish. All kinds of fish, small, big, etc. And so, but net, and then bacteria, microorganisms. Majority of the microorganisms are in the subsea surface, bottom of the floor, ocean floor, it seems. Amazing it is. You think about all this. And so they say 8 million, 8.5, 9 million species are there in this world, but they have only discovered 1.5 million species or 2.5 million species, some number like that. So it's 1/4 they have discovered, 3/4 remains to be discovered, it seems. I don't know how they say all these things. And but overall, some 80% of the biomass is on land, even though animals, there is so much in the ocean. Okay. And so they come up with all these statistics. So among these animals, okay, I am Makaraha, Makaraschasmi. Makara. See the word Makara in Hindi, Magar, so Magar much, they say crocodile, right? So crocodile is one meaning of Makar. Makara has other meanings also. Large fish called Makara, shark is called Makara, etc. Killer whale is the, if you look at this keystone species, then in the marine you have to bring the killer whale, because fox is keystone species. The other day we saw on earth, on land, and so here you can bring in killer whales. Sometimes they use that word. And top of the food chain, the marine food chain, whales, there are large whales which also hunt, but these killer whales hunt in packs, and they are definitely deadly. And so Makara. So Swami Paramathanandaji says, we will not translate the word Makara. We will leave Makara as it is. Okay. So if you wonder why it's not translated, that's the reason. And then, so that's that. Makaraschasmi, Jashanam. Then Srotasam asmi Jannavi. Jannavi. Jannavi comes again. So the story of Ganga Avataranam, the descension of Ganga to earth. That story is inspiring. And so that she meets with Jannu Maharshi on the way, and then Jannu just swallowed. If Jannu could swallow, we did not have, uh, uh, Bhagirath need not have worshipped Shiva, could have gone straight to Jannu, but I think they didn't know that. So along the way, Jannu Maharshi had that power. And so then he released her. Therefore, she came to be called as Jannu Putri, Jannu Suta, and so Jannavi she is called. And then, so Jannavi, here is Ganga, no doubt about that. Same Ganga is called Jannavi. And why Ganga herself is sacred? That sanctity, that river itself has sanctity. We saw that the other day. We saw everything. And so Agam Papam Gamayati iti Ganga, and Aganga, Agam Gamayati, Aganga, it became Ganga. That is what Swami Paramathananda says. And then another meaning is given, Swargapaga, that where in which you dip and which takes you to heaven. Swarga is called Ganga. Like that, there is another meaning. And there is a big list. You look at Vachaspatyam for Ganga, and it runs into pages. It's a dictionary. It's a type of dictionary, and it goes into pages and pages. Okay, and so that's why everybody at home has this Ganga Jal. Ganga Jal is there at home because it's sacred. Just by having it at home itself, the home becomes sacred. And it seems that there is no bacteria. Bacteria cannot grow in Ganga, at least in the initial stages when it is water is pure, cannot grow. And so you bottle that Ganga water, that water remains pure forever. And okay, now for students of Vedanta, For us, Ganga is also significant because it represents pravaha. It reference the flow. It refers to the flow of knowledge, flow of Brahma Vidya. It refers to the Guru Parampara. Just like the Ganga is flowing, just like the Ganga is perennial. Perennial because glaciers are melting and then Ganga flows and it always flows. And therefore, same way, this Brahma Vidya also is perennial knowledge. It's been there. And how do you know it's perennial? Because we are all studying here today. That's why it's perennial. That's enough proof that if somebody questions, you just ask them, what about you? Did you have parents? Do you have grandparents? Did the grandparents have parents? Did they have parents? So you can give them that idea. And so it's perennial. So that is indicated by Ganga flowing out of Shiva's matted locks, Shiva's head. And so it's coming from, so Sadashiva Samarambham, we say. And we worship our Guru, not because of the Guru per se, but because of the knowledge possessed by the Guru. We worship the knowledge. That respect goes to that knowledge, Brahma Vidya. And and also, so the similarity between the water flow. Ganga is flowing from Shiva's head, from top it is flowing. And Shiva also is that Sadashiva Samarambham, first Guru, so to speak. And number two, and the Guru is sitting, and the Shishyas are sitting, at a lower height than the Guru. Okay, that is traditional. Traditionally, it is how it is. And so that's another reason. Water flows from a higher level to a lower level. Okay, that similarity is given. And Swamiji says that is why our Swamijis don't prefer all this stadium seating, it seems, or this gallery seating, seats that go like this, and the stage is somewhere in the back. And why? Because, knowledge, it should flow down, it should not flow up. And even, but he says, Guruji's we people can manage to push the knowledge up also. That also we have the capacity to do. But then the problem is, next day, the student comes to the class, because they were sitting at such a height, the knowledge is already flowed down, and then they come with a very clean and empty mind. That's the only problem. Okay? And so, Brahma Devanam Pratamas Sambhavuva Vishwasya Karta Bhuvanasya Gopta, like that Mundakopanishad says, Bharadvajo Angirasaha Paravaram, like that mantra also says. Paravaram means coming from Guru to Shishya. Para means somebody who has the knowledge. Avara, somebody who does not have the knowledge, etc. So that idea is given. So also, therefore, a similarity between the flow of Ganga and flow of knowledge. Okay. And then, of course, a dip in Ganga is refreshing, rejuvenating. And likewise, this teaching also is like that. Mala Nirmorchanam Pumsan. There is a mantra called Gita Mahatmyam. Gita Mahatmyam. Like we do our Gita Dhyanam. Gita Mahatmyam is there. And at one time, Bhavani Vishwanath said, why don't you teach us Gita Mahatmyam? I don't know if Bhavani remembers or not, but I remember. Correct. Right. So, there, Malarimochanam Pumsam, Jalasnanam Dine Dine, like that it says. So, he's praising Gita, just like Ganga purifies you, like that. And that's like you should take a dip in Ganga every day. Like that, you take a dip in Bhagavad Gita also. Like that Mahatmyam talks about. Sakrit Gitam Bhasi Snanam. Gitam Bhasi, Ambas means water. The water of Bhagavad Gita, you have a shower, you take a Snanam, a Sakrit, okay, every day. Then Samsara Malanashanam. That is what that Mahatmyam says. And so, and another similarity Swami talks about. He says, in Ganga, you want to take a dip in Ganga, but you can't simply walk into wherever and then simply take a dip. No, because rocks are there, is slippery and you can't really go. If you just go anywhere, you may just drown. So there are places, ghats are there. They're called Snan Ghat. Snan Ghat means a place where steps are built, etc. And there are places where it's safe for you to get down into the river, and like Kedar Ghat, Narayan Ghat, etc. And so that like that, Brahma Vidya also is simply you can't take a book and then after all, Bhagavad Gita, anyway, Krishna is teaching. Any chapter you pick up, Krishna only will be teaching. And Arjuna is a student. So I'll just pick up today. I'm in the mood for 13th chapter. So mood for 13th chapter. Interesting. I never thought like that. I'm in the mood for 13th chapter. I don't know why I said that. So and then I'm going to just go through the 13th chapter. So generally that won't work. So let's translate this mantra. So these are all similarities that we are talking about between Ganga and this Brahma Vidya. Okay, Pavanaf Pavatam Asmi. Among the purifiers, comma, I am air. Full stop. I am Rama among those who bear weapons. Full stop. And among the fish, I am shark. I am Makara is better. Puju Swamiji says shark, that is also fine. And among the fish, I am shark. Semicolon. Among the rivers, I am Jannavi, Ganga, in brackets, Ganga. Among the purifiers, I am air. I am Rama among those who bear weapons. And among the fish, I am shark. Among the rivers, I am Ganga. 32nd shloka. Go ahead and unmute yourself. Haraprasad. Sarganhamadhirantascha.
Sarganam adirantascha.
Yeah, before we do that, the Srotasam I forgot to explain, correct? Srotas.
Yeah.
Srota, yeah. So, sru is to flow, to ooze, to drip, all those meanings the dhatu sru gives. And so, Srotas means a river. That is the meaning there. Okay? Sarganamadirantascha.
Sarganam adirantascha.
Madhyam chaivaham arjuna.
Madhyam chaivahamarjuna.
Adhyatma vidya vidyanam.
Adhyatma vidya vidyanam.
Vadah pravadatamaham.
Vada pravadatamaham.
Again. Sarganamadirantascha.
Sarganam adirantascha.
Madhyam chaivaham arjuna.
Madhyam chaivahamarjuna.
Adhyatma vidya vidyanam.
Adhyatma vidya vidyanam.
Vadah pravadatamaham.
Vada pravadatamaham.
Sarganam adihi antascha. Madhyam cha. Eva aham arjuna. That first sentence, first half of the shloka is that one. Sarganam adihi antaha madhyam cha aham arjuna. Hey Arjuna. Sargaha. Sargaha. Depending on the context, Sargaha can mean creation, Srishti. This creation that is in front of us, that of which we are part of, that is called Sargaha. Sargana plural. Yeah. Sargasya will be singular, but Sargana here plural. Among creations or among created objects, plural. Okay, so among created objects in this creation, or for us, creation is happening constantly, and pralaya is there, and another creation is going to come. So therefore, by that token, creations means different cycles of creation. Then Adihi Antaha Madhyam. I am the beginning, I am the middle, and I am the end, he says. Now, suddenly when you hear this, the shloka number 20 should come to your mind. Because shloka number 20, if you go back, Ahamatma Gudakesha Sarva Bhutashaya Stitaha Aham Adischa Madhyancha Bhutanam Anta Evacha. We saw that same thing. Adischa Madhyancha Bhutanam Antaha, he says. There is really no difference between that and this. Even the words are all identical. Okay. So therefore, but then in our Shastram, we have, it's a rule, that is, if such a repetition is there, sometimes a repetition is needed, and therefore a repetition is done. But here, a repetition is not needed, because Bhagavan is giving a list. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 5 cannot be same as 1. 10 cannot be same as 2. That is not a list. Okay. That is, why do you repeat stuff in a list? Okay. Therefore, here our commentators, our acharyas, okay, they say the first is, what did we say? Aham adischa madhyancha bhutanam anta evacha, we saw. And there we said srishti karanam, sthiti karanam, laya karanam. Srishti, sthiti, laya. Okay. So that they say is time axis. Time axis. Time. Beginning in time. Srishti. Then Sthiti, of course. After Srishti, only Sthiti can come. Then after Sthiti, only Laya can come, right? Birth has to be there. Only life is there, and only at the end of it, death will be there. Therefore, it's a time. Implied is time. So there, time axis is implied. Then here, spatial axis. What is spatial axis? Bottom, middle, top. Aham Adihi, Aham Brahma Lokaha. Because Brahma, Brahma Devanam, Pratama Sambhabuva. Mundaka says Brahma was the one who was born first. Hiranya Garbhaha, that is also his name. And he got a nice name for himself. And so, where is Brahmaji now? Well, Brahmaji has always been in Brahma Loka. So, Brahma Loka Adihi. Then Madhyam. Madhyam can be anything we want, but we will take it as Bhuloka, Madhyam. Okay? Because we are not Brahmaloka. At least we think we are not in Brahmaloka. And so we must be in Bhuloka. That's what the Shastram also says. And then what? Antaha. Antaha means down below, which loka is there. If you look, you will find Patala Loka on the other hand. Don't say California. Okay. So that is a different example. Okay. Then Patala Loka. So those of you who may not remember, so there's that thing about that Ganga Avataranam story where they went to Patala, and so that spatial axis is indicated in this mantra. Sarganam Adihi Antaha Cha Madhyam Cha, like that he says. Okay, that's the first half of this mantra. Then Adhyatma Vidya Vidyanam. Beautiful. Vidyanam. So again, plural there. Vidya is singular. Vidya, Vidye, Vidyaha. And then Shashti. So sixth case. Vidyayaha, Vidyayoho, Vidyanam. So plural. Knowledges. Among the disciplines of knowledge. Among the various fields of knowledge. Known to us and unknown to us. Okay. That is the way to read it. So Vidya means any science. So whole study, the study for a child continues, many years of study are there. And it is very obvious because the child is not capable of anything else, really speaking. But fortunately, it is capable of learning. Correct? And so that's it. So Chalo, life starts with learning. And learn, study, study, study. Okay? Beautiful it is. And they are the ones who are capable of absorbing also very well. So it's a nice order given there. And so that is Vidya. Then in Mundaka, Dve Vidya Veditavya. Going to say that. Acharya is saying, telling the student. Angiras is telling Shaunaka. That is the way it works. Dve Vidya Veditavya. Iti hasma yad brahmavido vadanti parachay va parachay cha. So two types of knowledge are there. Paravidya and aparavidya. Everything we talked about now, sciences and all that, is aparavidya. Because it is knowledge of the things in this world, the things which are objects of my perception, my awareness, and that is all aparavidya. And the Mundaka Upanishad also explains what aparavidya is. And so Rig Vedo, Yajurvedo, Samavedo, Atharvanaha, Shiksha, Kalpo, Vyakaranam, Niruktam, Chandasam, Jyotisham, all these knowledges, disciplines of knowledge it lists, including Rig Veda, Yajurveda. Finished. All Vedas also comes under aparavidya. Why? Because it is just words and words and words. Even though it talks about a lot of profound things, it is still words. And then what? Then he says, Yaya tad aksharam adhigamyate. It is called paravidya. We saw this before. We are repeating it because it's important to understand that. That by which the aksharam is understood as you, non-different from you, that is called paravidya. So it doesn't point to any text or any word, nothing. It says that by which and leaves it aside. Just says that by which is paravidya. So brilliant. This Shastram is just too good. Every time I read this, I'm just amazed. And so, Paravidya. So, among all knowledges between Paravidya and Aparavidya, also both included Saraswati. Saraswati is Vidyavati. Vidya is Aparavidya plus Paravidya. So she's all knowledge, including Para and Apara, right? And so, and I am this Adhyatma Vidya. I am this Atma Vidya, Atma Jnanam, Brahma Vidya, the knowledge of Atma and the teaching of Atma. And so our ninth chapter was also called what? Raja Vidya. Raja Vidya, Raja Guhyam. Raja Vidya, the king or queen of all knowledge. Okay. Now, why should this be so? Why should this be so? There's so many interesting fields of knowledge. Why should Atma Vidya be like this? Why should Krishna say that? Well, every other Vidya is about objects in this world, about things in this world, which are all mithya. They're all mithya. We know that very well. They're all mithya. And to appreciate this, we have to understand what Satyam and Mithya is, right? It's all Mithya. And what does Shankaraj say in Kathopanishad when Yama talked about Shreyascha Preyascha Manushya Metaha Tau Samparitya Vivinakti Dhiraha? What did he say? He said this preyas and this Mithya Jnanam, he uses the word avidya. He uses a very strong word called avidya. Why? Because it's useful. Mithya Jnanam is useful. Knowledge of objects is useful, obviously, because you have to know what's out there on your plate, so you know what it is, and therefore you can choose your foods properly. And foods are important for sustenance, no doubt. Therefore, all that knowledge of nutrition is very important. Knowledge of everything is very important. And but then it's not substantial. It is not the ultimate. It's not the ultimate. And so it's knowledge of mithya versus knowledge of satyam. Okay. And then second thing, of course, is knowledge of mithya does not free us. Does not free us. It's not liberating. Okay, knowledge of Atma alone is liberating. So moksha is Atma Vidya, not Anatma Vidya. Okay, because Anatma Vidya, what it does is it's useful. Right? It is also Saraswati Devi, no doubt. And but then these limitations, physical limitation is anyway there. Nobody can change my physical limitation. We are what we are in terms of the physical body. Then intellectual limitation is there. Okay, even you can know whatever you want. The gifted person can know a lot. Okay, child prodigies are there, and some people know a lot just by virtue of being gifted and being able to know so many different things, capable of grasping so many things. But even that person will say, I know only so much. In fact, the more I know, the more I come to know that the more I don't know. This is how it is. And so intellectual limitation is always going to be there. So these popular statements by Isaac Newton, I think, that whatever I know, it is like a boy playing on the shore and suddenly found a few pebbles that are better, more shiny, or some shells that are better. That's all I've done. While the whole ocean lay in front of me undiscovered. Like that he says. It's okay. So that's we understand that. And then of course emotional limitation. No Anatma Vidya can remove my emotional weakness. Okay. Emotional handicap. No. Psychology is there. Psychology is useful. We will make use of psychology. But even the psychologists need help. Okay, they may not admit, but they also need help, and so I mean we need them, no doubt about that. But then so emotional limitations also. The scientists can feel jealous about the Nobel Prize winner. Why? Why did he get Nobel Prize? I should have got Nobel Prize. Jealousy can kill a person. Despite being Nobel Prize candidate, okay, still that person cannot be happy with himself or herself, right? So all these things are possible. Only with Brahma Vidya we can say Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate. Please don't get up. I'm just quoting. I'm not chanting. Class is not over yet. Okay. Purnamadav that only Brahma Vidya can make us say that. Okay. And so therefore, and of course it's the rarest of knowledge. Even when it is available, people can't recognize it. People don't know that that's the importance of this knowledge. Okay. So therefore, Adhyatma Vidya, Vidyanam. Finally, Vadaha Pravadatam Ham. Vadaha. So we saw this before I think when we studied this Krishna Arjuna Samvade, okay, first chapter, Arjuna Vishada Yogo Nama, Prathamodhyaya. So long ago we did that. It is called first chapter of Bhagavad Gita. And so there we try to understand the meaning of the word Samvada. So Samvadaha, Vadaha, similar meaning. Okay, similar meaning. You're not going to distinguish it now. Then there are other types of, these vocal engagements, discussions, for lack of a better word. And so the other things are what? Jalpa and Vitanda. Vada means a discussion where both parties want to know the truth. They are both seeking the truth. And so the commitment to know is there. Therefore, it's a very constructive dialogue, constructive discussion. It's called Vada. And but Jalpa and Vitanda means person is knowledgeable, but that knowledgeable person wants to make a point and wants to prove that he is only right, and therefore he's advancing arguments constantly to the other person who is also knowledgeable but wants to prove his point of view. And then this Jalpa. Jalpa means what? I really don't have a point of view, but because it is you, what you say is wrong. Because it is you. That's simple, very simple, nice logic, Because it is you, it can't be right. And so that is an ego trip. That the Jalpa is an ego trip. What about Vitanda? Vitanda is Just arrogance, intellectual dishonesty. That is what it is. And so these kinds of discussions are there. We studied that long ago. And Swamiji says, that is why these Jalpa Vitanda arguments, generally they say, because they are not committed to knowing the truth, they use the word heated argument. Did you ever heard lighted argument? Did you ever see that phrase in English? I don't think you have seen lighted argument. It's enlightening. No, heated argument only it is. Because heat is generated. A lot of heat. Mm. Okay. So Vadaha Samvadaha. So therefore our classes always start with with a prayer, the prarthana. Even student is praying, teacher also is praying, prarthana, so that teacher's attitude also must be looking up to Sadashiva Samarambham. Whatever I want to say today, let him watch me, let him provide me the right words, because I'm going to convey this to so many others, and so this hour is so critical. And so I can't simply say whatever I want to say. I need to say it in a particular order, and I have to observe everybody, making sure they are also understanding what is being said. So much is involved in teaching, and students also, they have to do a namaskar, because that attitude, same attitude the teacher has, the student also has to have, so that the student can say, I'm willing to let go of my ideas. I'm going to keep them down for now. I'm not going to let my ego rise up. And it is not about me versus him or her. It is namaskara. Namaha means surrender. I'm going to use my mind, no doubt, but I'm going to allow the thoughts to come in. That is why children, young children learn, grasp so much, because they have so much shraddha. They go without prejudice. Without prejudice. Prejudice can ruin things. And so, pravadatam, pravadat. Among, literal meaning of pravadat means among people who discuss, among people who talk. That is the meaning of pravadatam. Okay? But among people who discuss, I am called Vadaha. I am called the discussion which is called Vadaha, which is committed to knowing the truth. Doesn't sound right. Therefore, look at what Shankaracharya says. Pravaktru Dwarena Vadana Bhedanam Eva Vada Jalpa Vitandanam Iha Grahanam Pravadatam Iti. So he says, by the word Pravadatam, what we should understand is, by the discussants, discussant, the people who are discussing, Vadana Bheda, the type of discussion that comes out of them, that is what you must understand, such as this Vada Jalpa Vitandana, like that he says. And so, among those types of discussions or vocal engagements, the Vada, the discussion, which has the commitment of knowing the truth, is who I am. That is what Krishna is saying in this. So let's translate this. Sarganam Adirantascha. I am indeed the beginning, comma. I am indeed the beginning, comma, the middle, comma, and the end of the creations. Arjuna. Full stop. Okay. Next sentence.
Should we
Among
add
the
spatially, Guruji, in
ah,
bracket?
you can do that. You can do that. Yeah. You can put within brackets time is equal to 20. Shloka number 20. Among the disciplines of knowledge, comma, I am the knowledge of the self. Of those who discuss, comma, I am the discussion leading to truth. Of those who discuss, which is a literal meaning of that word. Then brackets you can say of various types of discussions. of those who discuss, comma, I am the discussion leading to truth. I am indeed the beginning, the middle, and the end of the creations, Arjuna, full stop. Among the disciplines of knowledge, comma, and the knowledge of the self, full stop, of those who discuss, within brackets, of various types of discussions, or of all types of discussions. I am the discussion leading to truth. Okay. We'll continue in the next class. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om